In this video, I will talk about infraorbital nerve and its blocking techniques. I will also talk about clinical consideration during applying this block in both pediatric and adult population. But before starting this discourse, let us review the basics. The basic anatomy. The infraorbital nerve is a branch of maxillary nerve, which is a branch of the trigeminal nerve, also known as V2 branch of cranial nerve number 5. It travels through the orbit and enters the infraorbital canal to exit onto the face through infraorbital foramen. Infraorbital nerve innervates the ipsilateral, lower eyelid, side of the nose and upper lip. Regional blocks provide anesthesia without distorting the soft tissues as we see in local infiltration. Therefore, an infraorbital nerve conduction block is very much important in routine clinical practice. Indications of infraorbital nerve block is when you are performing surgery to the skin of the cheek, the upper lip, the lateral aspect of the nose and the ipsilateral upper teeth involving central incisors, lateral incisors, canine and premolars. The equipments needed are local anesthetic bottle, preferably 2% LA with 1:50,000 adrenaline saturation, 5 to ml syringe, 25 to 27 gauge needle, clohexidine, gauze, sterile gloves, steroid drap and topical anesthesia. Now I will talk about the procedure. The procedure can be divided into two approaches, intraoral and extraoral. Let us first start from intraoral approach. Step number 1. Place patient in supine position or a seated position. Step number 2. Apply anesthetic soaked Q-tip to the mucosa opposite the upper second premolar bicuspid for 1 minute, allowing absorption of topical anesthesia. Step number 3. Draw about 2 to 5 ml of anesthetic solution into the syringe. Step number 4. Palpate the infraorbital foramen by having the patient look straight forward ahead and draw an imaginary line vertically from pupil towards the inferior border at the infraorbital ridge. Keep your finger at the foramen of left hand. Step number 5. Retract the cheek and introduce the needle into the mucosa, which is 0.5 cm or 5 mm away from the buccal surface. The site of needle insertion is at the junction of both the bicuspids in the mucosa. Step 6. Align the syringe along the long axis of the bicuspid and insert it inside the mucosa for about 2.5 to 5 cm so that it reaches the infraorbital foramen. Do not advance the syringe too far as your needle may enter the orbit. Step number 7. Aspirate the syringe and if the aspiration is negative, slowly deposit 4 to 5 ml of solution into the anatomical space. The speed of deposit is 1 ml per minute. Now I will talk about extraoral approach for infraorbital nerve block in adults. Step number 1. Place the patient in supine position or in upright position. Step number 2. Draw about 2 to 5 ml of anesthetic solution into the syringe. Preferably avoid epinephrine as you are close to facial artery in extraoral approach. Step number 3. Palpate the infraorbital foramen extraorally by having the patient look straight ahead and draw an imaginary line vertical from the pupil towards the inferior border of infraorbital ridge. Keep your finger on the foramen. Then step number 4. Prepare the overlying skin with betadine. Step number 5. Insert the needle through the skin, subcutaneous tissue and muscle. Step number 6. Aspirate. If no blood, just inject the anesthetic solution slowly. The tissue you will see will become swelled and the facial tissues will become enlarged. Step number 7. Withdraw the needle and do massaging extraorally for at least 15 seconds because we have to diffuse the solution. Now I will talk about clinical considerations regarding infraorbital nerve block in pediatric population, especially children, adolescents and infants. The most important thing in pediatric population is to locate infraorbital foramen. But before locating it, we should know some basics. To locate infraorbital foramen, we should know two important craniometric bony anatomical landmarks. First is jugal and second is anterior nasal spine. Jugal, the craniometric point at the union of frontal and temporal process of zygomatic bone, is called jugal point. Nasal spine, the anterior nasal spine is the projection formed by the fusion of two maxillary bones at intermaxillary suture. To locate the infraorbital foramen through a PA view X-ray, draw a straight line from nasal spine passing over the infraorbital foramen towards point jugal. Now locate the halfway midpoint over this line. Now we will use this central midpoint as a landmark to detect the location of infraorbital foramen. The average distance of the infraorbital foramen from the nasospinal to jugal midpoint was 1.5 mm in fetal, 0.9 mm in child and 1.6 mm in adolescent group. And in an average, the location of infraorbital foramen was within 2 mm from the midpoint.